Now we'll explain the reaction that happens between sodium and chlorine. Page 106. Sodium burns in chlorine with its typical orange flame to produce white solid sodium chloride. The reaction of sodium with chlorine produces sodium chloride. We are going to see the equation, how this reaction happens between them. Also, we'll explain the redox reaction, which is the oxidation-reduction reaction, and which one is the oxidizing agent, chlorine or sodium, and why. So, the reaction between sodium and chlorine, page 106. Look at this figure. Sodium burning in chlorine to produce sodium chloride. So there is a reaction, burning reaction between sodium and chlorine to produce the sodium chloride. Sodium burns in chlorine with its typical orange flame to produce white solid sodium chloride. Okay, sodium burns in chlorine, then this reaction formed an orange flame, which is related to the sodium, to produce white solid sodium chloride. As you can see, the white color starts to form below, here in this figure. This white is for sodium chloride. The equation is in this form. Sodium plus chlorine gas produces sodium chloride, which is solid. S means solid, which is the salt. Okay, sodium chloride is ionic solid. Why is it ionic solid? Because the charge of sodium is plus and the charge of chlorine is minus, and since they are plus and minus, they will react together. Thus, they are ionic solid, right? When halogens react with metals from group 1 and 2, they form ions. When halogens react with metals from both group 1 and group 2, alkali metals and alkaline earth metals, they form ions. Since the ions of group 1 and group 2 have the charge plus, whereas all the halogens are minus. So plus with minus, once they react, they will form ionic solid. Thus, they will form ions. Okay? Let's see the equation. Figure 12.17. The reaction between sodium and chlorine. Let's see what happens here in this equation. Notice, sodium was atom without any charge, neither positive nor negative. But here it became plus. This means that it loses electrons. And once it became plus, so it loses electron. So loss of electrons. Thus, sodium undergoes oxidation. While chlorine here was atom and not ion, without any charge, neither positive nor negative. But here it became Cl-. And once we see that it became with minus a charge, then this means that it gains electrons. Thus it undergoes reduction. So this is a redox reaction. Why redox reaction? Because this reaction undergoes oxidation and reduction reactions. We realize that sodium loses electrons, so it undergoes oxidation, while chlorine gains electrons, it becomes with minus, so it undergoes reduction. Okay, but you should know that the oxidizing agent is the one which gains electrons, that undergoes reduction, right? So which one here undergoes the reduction? The chlorine, all right? So chlorine is a strong oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent means that it gains electrons, and this was all about the equation between sodium and the chlorine reaction.